Okay, welcome everybody to the July 19, 2023 bug scrub. Please remember that all Kubernetes meetings are governed by the code of conduct, so please be nice to everybody. These recordings will be public, so don't say anything that you can't say publicly. And let's get started. So, first one. Client-side apply. Applies manifest partially. Happened I used kubectl apply to apply a change to a Kubernetes policy. Only part of the change was applied. When I used kubectl apply server side, all changes were applied. Expect a client side kubectl apply to correctly apply the changes, just like server side apply does. How to reproduce it as minimally and precisely as possible. Well, I don't really know anything about Kubernetes.
As far as I know, these are the known issues in client-side apply, and in such cases, we usually recommend using server-side apply.
Okay, so this is considered a known issue with client-side apply, and users should use server-side.
Yeah, I remember such an issue. I searched in the issues, but I couldn't find it.
Okay. Okay, I can follow up with somebody, or we can try and track down that being the precedent for this. Yeah, okay. Kubectl watch fails after first event. So what happened running watch or get watch fails after the first event? Same happens with watch only. So I think this person doesn't understand how watch is supposed to work.
I think I looked into it and I think they figured it out. I told them to use verbose logging at the very bottom, and I think they figured out their own problem. Okay. They were doing something else. They were doing something they didn't say, I think, in the original description.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure watch, that's the intended behavior, but get watch, the watch flag for get, I wasn't sure. Interesting. Okay. Okay. kubectl wait for cannot handle JSON. No. Okay. Yeah, probably. Cannot handle JSON path filter expressions like @x equals y. Oh, I thought I fixed this actually. Where are my pull requests?
Did they say what version they're using? If it maybe is fixed.
I'm double checking that my PR actually did get, they did not, but let's fix this. Oh wait, Brian, maybe this was your PR actually. Because it was doing like a naive split or something.
Yeah,
Just
that
doing
does.
it wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I forgot about that. It might still be open. I can check.
Yeah, okay. If it is still open, can you what's the word?
And it,
Go ahead.
sorry, it is indeed a bug, right? We
Right.
should, in any case, triage accepted. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say close duplicate because there's something that there's already an issue for this. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I forget where that PR stands. It looks like it needs a rebase, so I'll rebase it and then take
I
a look at it.
think
I
that
know
you
there's
were
been
pretty
some
much good to
discussion
go
on it.
besides the rebase.
Yeah, I think it's close. So I'll rebase it and see what, if anything, needs to happen.
PR to fix this. Are we in code freeze already?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully we can get this, since it should be relatively small bug fix PR. Okay. Link K, it's IOQ kettle 404s. No. What was this supposed to go to then?
So I think this person is confused because somewhere, I think in the readmes, sometimes it says io/kubectl, but it's really referring to the GitHub repo. It's not intended to be an actual clickable URL. I think.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I read it as as first. Okay. Um, okay, and this is at the what did they say was that? Okay.
I mean, I think if it doesn't have a protocol in front of it, you can't expect it to be
Yeah,
working well.
yeah, this
Unless
is
is it clickable, I guess, in the README? Like does GitHub's README somehow make that clickable?
see, because it's right. Is this the one that, yeah, these are all code formatted or monospaced, I mean. Right, yeah. So they're not even clickable unless this is the one. But no, this one goes to the repo properly. And I don't see it in, yeah, this is not an issue. Port forward, port writing JSON port mapping to file or SC out patch. Okay. Like to be able to easily get a machine parsable JSON mapping of local remote port mappings from kubectl port forward when using remote port style mappings that assign dynamic local ports. It's very confusing. I mean, I kind of get the why. Yeah, bindings. By having kubectl emit a machine readable mapping of the local remote ports is much easier. It takes file path with special value to investigate out.
Portfolio prints this mapping in, into the terminal, but it also prints all other errors, warnings, or infos. I don't understand how we are going to achieve that. Just outputting the mapping somewhere else, but we still continue printing the other logs into there.
Yeah, this is. So different local ports were assigned to different listen addresses. This can easily happen even on the default local host listen address. Function returns whichever port was assigned by the last successful listener created for that port. One entry per port per listening address. Each entry includes the local port, local listening address, and local address scheme. Um, Okay, conflicts with existing SCD output when writing port map to SCD. Unfortunately, it only writes a human readable port mapping to SCD out, not SCD error. So simply writing the JSON port mapping to SCD out produces unhelpful output. Oh my God, there's so much. All right, is this something that was written inside of this this issue somewhere?
They said they had a fork, I think, that's got their changes in it.
I just meant the comment that Arda had posted in the chat.
Oh, I gotcha.
Well,
I mean, I suppose we could add a -o flag to port forward and let you say you want JSON output or something. If you say that, you get JSON output. Otherwise, you get the logging output if you don't specify or something like that.
Yeah, it seems like this request feels reasonable, but it also feels bigger than we can address in this call. So,
and there might be two parts to it as well. So maybe the first step is like, hey, let's update client Go so that you can programmatically get the ports. And then once we've got that in place, then we could look at adapting the kubectl port forward command to then provide different output types or something. I'm just trying to think. I haven't looked at the fork, so I don't know how big of a thing it is, but it feels like maybe it could be broken up into multiple steps. That would be valuable.
They opened a similar issue, actually, this one, and Eddie closed this by suggesting that it would be a good plugin.
oh yeah, okay. I think yeah, I think that's for sure where actually refinement if I do patch. Yeah, I think that I agree with Eddie that this seems like it should be, at least it was never addressed in these comments from what I can see.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm not gonna comment that. Yep. I'll write something a little bit nicer. Okay. All right. Kubectl diff fails if diff command requires positional. This was brought up before. Um, is this the same one from before? It is not the same one from before. Okay. Actually, it looks like the same one from O. I think that means that I had a comment written for this and it never got posted. Right, because after this, yeah, these are all ones that we've all done before. Okay. So if I remember correctly, this was triage accepted and bug fix. But we wanted to verify that this is what was expected, basically. Which if I remember right, it was not what was expected, and so it is definitely a bug. And the main reason is that that the way that the args were being appended to each other was kind of not right. But we didn't want to get rid of this regex because it was making sure the valid characters were being passed.
As far as I recall, this regex was added due to security reasons.
Right, yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, okay. Okay, so that takes us, I believe, as far as, I don't think of this one. Yeah, this one's been so good. It's working on this. Never did get triage. Okay. Let's say making an umbrella issue better as their, oh, that's right, sorry. You here. Let's see, but yeah. We're waiting for civil share the thoughts. We should assume. Well, Both of these got merged, actually. Right. Yeah, okay. Discussion, we found the following issue, create secret. Changes like command description or home message consistent style neighbor side.
I mean, it's not a bad issue.
Yeah,
If somebody wants to do a pull request, so I think this came about because they had a pull request about some cleaning up the help, and then we're kind of getting going down the line of finding more and more inconsistencies, and I was just like, hey, let's just fix the ones that you started to set out to fix, instead of, because I mean, you could probably go through all the commands and find a lot of improvements to the help text. I guess, my caution would be against just like wordsmithing and trying to make it perfect versus good enough. And we don't want to just constantly be tweaking the help text, but if there's places that are where things are clearly missing, then it's good to fix that.
yeah, they're just
That's
like
where I
flat
come
out
down on it.
wrong. Yeah, I for sure. It looks like all of the PRs that were open for this have been merged. I believe that they wanted this to be kind of a umbrella issue based on the comments here, but so yeah, I'm good with accepting it. I just wanted to double check that that there was that there, I'll just say accept it if there are still to fix. Well, I don't know.
I think there are. I think the PR that was referenced in this one that was linked from this issue was oh, okay. The one that, yeah, that PR was the one that kind of kicked off this issue, was the May 24th one.
Okay.
So I think there are still some things
Okay.
that need to be done, but you can ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, I guess.
Right. And then let's see, this one for sure has been interacted with.
I closed this one, but it was reopened. And
Oh, wasn't this one the one that
this one,
the
1430.
config, that's right. No, like yeah, this is a workaround for, so yeah, like I think that so the last time we discussed this, what I remember discussing is this is like this is a, on the one hand, you should use the kubeconfig. On the other hand, if your home network is broken, you should fix your home network first.
or if you write hostname in your kubeconfig, you can define IPv6 in resolve config, and
Yeah, you
it
can
will
just
redirect to IPv6. Yeah.
you can't if you write the host name, but you can get the IP that it resolves to and do it that way. I don't know. Because I mean, it fundamentally comes down to a DNS issue. So they can force they could also do what do you call it? They could update their hosts file. They could replace the host name with the IP address. They could run a DNS server that doesn't return values that its network can't handle, etc. Okay, if somebody wants to do it, we can. I don't think that a patch would necessarily be rejected.
I mean, we're talking about a global flag, right?
Yeah, which would be
Or two.
rough.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also that's another thing to consider is that we generally not looking to add more global flags to kubectl, so it'd probably make more sense to add it to the kubeconfig file. I don't know.
I mean, there are several commands that are popular commands that do support those flags, but I don't doesn't necessarily mean we should, I guess, but it does kind of add more weight to the case that, hey, you know, these are kind of standard flags that are used in certain situations, I guess. I don't know. I'm mixed on it, but I guess I'm just saying if I mean we could accept it, but if somebody submitted a pull request to add a couple of global flags, I think there would be a lot of questions about whether we really need those flags or not.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it's gonna be all right.
It sounds like maybe a topic we would want to talk about in a SIG meeting or something before somebody spent a lot of time working on it.
Yeah, I agree.
And okay. Yeah. Okay. Kubectl CP will return an error dropping out copy after 0 retries, unexpected EOF. So trying to copy. Field even has the warning. Server is out of sync.
Error message looks not nice. Maybe we can, at least we should change this dropping out copy after 0 retries. Seems misleading.
Oh shoot. Yeah, we already discussed this. Okay, sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough. The leading slash, if you're copying, hold on, local.
Yeah, so there's an issue that this PR is linked to that is unexpected EOF, and it involves changing some of the speedy stuff, which I know is already going to be changed anyway to WebSockets in the future. So this PR didn't, I mean, it does fix it does fix the unexpected EOF problem, but I don't know if there's really any interest in merging this PR or not. And I don't know if it might be this problem. It's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah. That was the other thing I was considering. Was that Speedy is hopefully not long for this world in our code base, or at least in the kubectl front end part of the code base.
So yeah, there's a workaround with the retries. It's not a good workaround, but
yeah,
it will at least let people have a chance of succeeding with this if they need to.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I'm interested in Sean's thoughts on this. It did not seem to comment on making sure that the file actually existed, but it doesn't seem like this is actually. I doubt that the file just doesn't exist based on the interaction here.
Yeah, and even in the original issue, there's they're showing us sometimes it succeeds and sometimes it doesn't. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that Hold on a second. I'm sure. Oh, so it does succeed here and here. Okay, so like intermittent failing, and not just like all of a sudden starts working. Yeah. They never really. Never really mentioned this part. We didn't really make any forward progress here, basically. Okay. Can you
You want me to reply to it?
yeah.
Okay, because I think it's the same as the other issue. So I'll say that I think it's the same and it's related to speedy ping and I'll close it as a duplicate. Does that sound okay?
Maybe don't close as duplicate.
Okay.
But just say like, we're working on this, believe that this issue is related to this other issue, and it is being worked on. So we'll track here once it's merged. Once it's merged, we'll have to test using the versions that we have here, and then blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll respond to that one.
Okay.
This one. All right.
Thank you.
I don't know if it is duplicate or not, but it looks like an issue, and we can park this by accepting the triage, by mentioning that the WebSocket migration, and maybe it will be solved.
Yeah,
or not.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never accepted, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, needs some information. Just gonna move to triage accepted.
Yep, I think that's a good
Sorry,
idea. Just
Brian,
get it out of the
you can-
list.
my bad. If you're gonna comment on it. Okay. I know we've talked about this one before. Yeah. Okay. We don't really need to keep on with that one. All right. So with the last 15 minutes, we will talk about this one. Sorry, the SIG CLI stuff in the Kubernetes repo. Okay. Intent tests for proxy cannot get cluster URL. Kubernetes -admin.
That one may have a pull request, if that helps.
Oh, yes. Okay. Seems like should be. Didn't use the context dot cluster name, but the context name is the key to get the cluster, which causes the assignment to fail. Yeah, I will click on that one next, Ryan.
This looks SIG test group rather than SIG CLI.
Yeah, same. So yeah. Assign SIG testing.
I think it's just like /sig testing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, oh right, I see.
Yep.
Okay, and then let's look at Brian. Brian
So,
posted this one in the chat. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and a bunch of these are are needs triage, but they're really old in the kubectl repo. And this was one of them, and it came up because it went rotten or something, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, this really is a problem. And in fact, it happens all the time in end-to-end tests in a flake situation. And I don't know. So I guess I feel like we should at least triage it, but I don't know if it's a simple solution or not. So the root of the matter is that, so we have a timeout for the overall HTTP request that's made, but there's a TLS handshake timeout that's less. So it's like a 10-second timeout or something. So regardless of what the overall timeout is, you can have a TLS handshake timeout that happens in like 10 seconds and then it'll just fail. And it only happens under heavy load.
Right, that makes sense because TLS handshakes are more computationally expensive than just a regular TLS handshake, or sorry, HTTP handshake. Okay.
So I think I don't even know. So here's another thing is I don't even know this would be CLI related or if this is like API machinery or some other group. I don't know who's going to be the one to actually fix this. So it's possible we need to transfer it.
Yeah. Ooh, here we go. So you said it to frozen. I think that this should definitely be accepted, yeah. Especially if this is really affecting a lot of testing, and it's definitely being. It seems like what you've got here definitely shows that it is causing issues in our testing, causing flaky tests. So yeah. But as you said, not sure who would be responsible for it yet. Do you want to keep going with it to see if you can figure out who exactly should be responsible, or
I guess that was part of my question today. I mean, I don't know. We could, I mean, I could post something in, I could maybe go on Slack and ask in the API machinery channel what they think, whether that's an API machinery thing. The triage thing, the screenshot, one of the screenshots I posted said API machinery on it. So I don't know. That's why I thought that one, like maybe it is API machinery and not us. Yeah, or at least they should be involved probably. So I'll so I guess we could accept it. I don't know if we want to accept it or not before we figure out who it belongs to, or um I'll ask in the Slack channel who it belongs to.
yeah. Is it actually? It seems like, well, okay, so it's being reported as a kubectl issue. However, it may end up being something that's actually inside of API machinery instead of, especially because it's a client Go thing. Probably, or sorry, what Eddie links to is a client Go thing. I would not say that's a guarantee that that's where the source of the issue lies. So I'm gonna accept it as SIG CLI for the moment. If you find, if it is, Brian, when you talk, excuse me, if you're talking to people and it comes up that it's not SIG CLI, can you just punt it to the proper group?
Yeah, it's in our repo, but I can transfer it back over to Kubernetes repo.
Yes.
I'll figure out, I guess, what to do with it.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. That will take care of that. Okay. And then this one, I'm just gonna remove the CLI from it and transfer it to testing because it's clearly for testing, not for CLI. Okay, netraw isn't added to ephemeral container via netadmin debugging profile.
We had a discussion with respect to this issue, and we decided that the cap will be updated, and this is the issue is legit.
Yeah, the issue
We
is
can-
what? Sorry.
Yeah, we can accept the triage.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna accept it with no further comments, to be honest. Yeah. My favorite thing about doing this is I just get like a torrent of emails constantly from all of these issues and stuff that I comment on. Okay. Under restricted PSA, ephemeral containers can't be created with restricted profile. CMF shall be able to create via restricted debugging profile. Under restricted PS, unfortunately failed.
I couldn't find time to check this one, but restricted profile, as its name explains, it should work on the restricted environments, and I think this one also a real issue.
Okay. If the following use case is valid, I shall be able to create a ephemeral container with restricted debugging profile. What usage? Oh, okay. So somebody's saying that it was fixed. I'm gonna go ahead and just accept and say, could you please update? Intended to be fixed. Release, which I believe is what they said. First video. Issue. Otherwise, repo bot will close it for us after, what is it, 90 days or something like that? I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. Idea, EOL apply in favor of more descriptive verbs. All right, Tim, what are you saying here? This is probably going to be the last one. Illustrates some surprising behavior with apply. I found repeatedly that humans are bad at predicting what apply will do. From talking to a lot of people, the apply action feels like it means create or replace, but it's really not. It's much more sophisticated resource co-ownership system. If you don't keep that in mind, it will almost certainly not. Okay, I think that this maybe is probably going to come down to user education, which we've been trying so hard to do. Just looked at many bugs over the years. In hindsight, I wonder if apply is the right. Oh dear God. No. I don't think that we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna rename this. Hopefully, I don't know. Oh no. I think it would be very,
Or
very
we can
difficult
defer
to
to,
change this thing's name.
or we can defer to SIG architecture for triage.
Yeah, I do see that they're tagged in it. All right, yeah, sure. It is generally their purview for huge things like this. I'm not going to put my personal thoughts into this, but into the comment here, but my personal thought is user education rather than trying to, change the wheels on this moving 80-ton tanker ship. But yeah, okay, triage accepted. And then that brings us to the end. So we'll stop sharing and stop the recording somehow. Where did it go? There we go.